In this WrestleTalk news, backstage heat on Braun Strowman, Nick Aldis publicly quits the NWA, more WWE return news and more.
Support WrestleTalk!
Saturday's Crown Jewel gave us many mind-blowing moments. Our first tease that Bray Wyatt could be recruiting or targeting Alexa Bliss, wrestling's slowest ever golf cart spot, and Logan Paul having a better buckshot lariat than Hangman Page. I'm so sorry. Please don't cut an impromptu promo on me and make CM Punk leave again, Hangman. But the biggest thing to happen at the show was Omos's hand. In the press conference for the premium live event, the internet was gifted with this new meme. I asked you all to come up with the best captions. In third place, we have Gully Ziz saying, "If I ever hear you say, it's boss time again." In second, it's the Destin Gems, when a double face palm just isn't enough. But our winner is this excellent punning from Josh Barnes. He's got the whole world in his hands. Everyone give Josh Barnes some cheap pops in the comments. Type clap emojis, I say. Clap emojis! And we weren't the only ones impressed with Omos. Mike Johnson of PW Insider has reported that WWE management was really happy with his performance at Crown Jewel, and they've been very pleased with the progress he's been making as of late, which seems to be the opposite to how everyone's feeling about his opponent on that show, Braun Strowman. Strowman celebrated his Crown Jewel victory and undeniably impressive running power slam on Omos by crapping on everyone who's smaller than him, which is most people. Posting on Twitter, "Holy hell, Omos, can you believe we got 47 5-stars? I reminded the people that no one cares about all these floppy floppers. Giant's a monster, greater than flipper bag your groceries at Kroger. Hashtag airport test, hashtag size is the prize, hashtag swole is the goal." Ah, no, he's controlling his own narrative again. Replying to a Twitter user who said those flippy floppers could wrestle circles around Strowman and Omos, Braun posted back, "Ha ha! Really? Because they'd be in the main card in Saudi, but instead they are at a," with a photo of Braun pointing at a sign that says S-word indie. Presumably high on whey protein powder and 8 full rotisserie chickens, Braun posted one last message before grabbing some much-needed shut-eye on the plane home from Saudi Arabia. "I am gonna sleep on There Is Flight. There is flight. There is flight. Just let me remind you, I am the greatest big man there ever has been, there ever is, and there ever will be!" Exclamation marks. If you at me, you prove the point. Good night to all my loyal fans and the rest, well, GFYS, 4 kiss emojis, monster out. Kind of like that woman who made a white privilege joke on Twitter before getting on the plane for her holiday, and by the time she'd landed, she'd become the world's most hated person and had lost her job. Braun's tweet got him significant heat from the wrestling community and his own fellow WWE stars. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Abominable Michael Abbott and Ryan Disco Stewart. You can get your own shout-outs by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. One of the many issues with Braun's flippy-floppers tweet was that they aren't just wrestling at a S-word indie promotion. They wrestle in all major promotions now, like AEW, New Japan, and as Braun's colleagues in WWE. While the monster amongst clouds was sleeping, New Japan's Will Ospreay posted, "Why are you so mad about making money? Crime with laughter face emoji. It's dead funny that you actually done such a great job, and yet you're mad at other people that do the same job as you. Relax, my guy. Just say you really enjoyed showing super heavyweight wrestling." AEW's Chris Jericho replied to the flippy flipper bag your groceries line, tweeting, "I used to bag groceries." And Braun's WWE colleague Mustafa Ali posted, "Can you teach me how to get fired?" Which is likely a reference to Braun Strowman's hypocrisy, as even though he's a big monster man, WWE still released him last year. But also, coming from Ali, someone who has publicly asked to get out of his WWE contract this year, it kind of also reads like he's just asking for friendly advice. He does seem to be much happier in the Triple H regime, where he's entered the US Championship mix on Raw. This prompted a back and forth between the two, with Braun replying to Ali, "Don't you work in catering now?" Ali responded to that, "Was definitely in the kitchen, cooking you." Strowman then attempted to navigate out of the controversy he caused, replying to Ospreay, "Not mad at all, brother. Just love watching the IWC melt low. Mad respect to the high flyers. I just love firing up the internet. Was on a 10-hour flight, made for good reading, lol." And then tweeting a statement to everyone. "Yo, all my brothers and sisters in the locker room, no matter where you came from, I have mad respect. We have all worked very hard to be where we are, and are all here for a reason. Take a joke, IWC, y'all come at me non-stop, and the second I fire back, y'all melt. Then showing how good he is at the jokes, he replied to that tweet, do I have to pay Elon $8 for this now? It's topical. One of the hardest parts to navigate about telling edgy jokes is the intention behind them. A lot of comedians get away with telling offensive jokes because they clearly don't mean what they're saying. It gets uncomfortable though when it starts to feel like that comedian does believe the jokes they're making, which is kind of the problem with Strowman's jokes here, because just 1 month into the pandemic, he criticized out-of-work wrestlers for trying to support themselves on Patreon. During Strowman's first WWE run, he reportedly had heat backstage for being his own worst enemy, annoying the locker room for being late and leaving early. What do you think about Strowman's flippy-flopping flipper comments? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please give us a subscribe and enable notifications to always on. We put up daily wrestling news and review videos, and subscribing is the best way to never miss a show. Braun isn't the only wrestler making controversial social media posts. You remember Nick Aldis, don't you? He was Magnus in TNA. He's husband to Mickie James. In the late 2010s, he made Billy Corgan's NWA Heavyweight Championship the most relevant it had been in years, carrying the belt for 1,043 days and defending it against Cody Rhodes at the AEW prequel show, All In. For a time, before AEW filled in the indie wrestling-sized hole in our lives, NWA and Aldis' reign was a big non-WWE deal. Aldis and NWA were indistinguishable from each other, but this year something seems to have soured between Aldis and the promotion's owner, Billy Corgan. Back in July, Corgan pulled Aldis from a world title match on pay-per-view, despite Nick having won a #1 contenders tournament. The report was that Corgan had grown tired of Aldis' backstage politicking, with Corgan himself saying in an interview, "No one stresses me out more in the NWA than Nick Aldis. No one is more highly paid than Nick Aldis. And no one is more unhappy than Nick Aldis." While Aldis came back for a match in August and is still scheduled for their Hard Times 3 pay-per-view this weekend, awkward, Nick has accidentally posted a message to everyone on Instagram rather than just his subscriber feed like he apparently intended. In the now deleted video, Aldis has revealed how he and Corgan have creative differences and that the NWA has gotten so embarrassing he can't be a part of it any longer. PW Insider have followed this up, revealing that his contract expires in January. Even if the relationship hadn't deteriorated, it's probably best for Aldis to move on from the NWA. He's been there for over 5 years and has accomplished everything the promotion has to offer. He already has a connection with AEW via All In, so that is a possible next step. But there's also WWE, where his presentation will fit in very nicely with Triple H's tastes. Where do you think Aldis will go, and what do you think about how he's publicly buried the NWA? Let me know in the comments. In a quick roundup of everyone else WWE and AEW are interested in, Bandido has reportedly fully signed an AEW contract after being offered one last month. They had also been in talks with WWE. Meanwhile, Fightful Select write that WWE are looking to bolster their women's division with TV-ready, experienced women's wrestlers that has already seen the comeback of Emma to SmackDown and could next include former WWE star Chelsea Green. Green finished up with Impact Wrestling on the 22nd of October, but has told Fightful she hadn't been contacted by WWE for a return, and noted she still has NWA, WrestleCade, and other indie bookings scheduled well into March 2023. But she would say that, wouldn't she? But the biggest current free agent in wrestling might have just had their next move leaked. Find out what's going on with Sasha Banks by watching on.
In this WrestleTalk news, we've got all the backstage news coming out of WWE Crown Jewel and what Sasha Banks being in the bumper means for her WWE return, Survivor Series plans and more.